Over the weekend, on Monday, I saw more stories about Donald Trump's cognitive decline than I have seen possibly throughout his entire administration. Certainly the most we have ever seen at one time. But we are starting to see the media very slowly, definitely not where they should be, but we are starting to see more and more of these stories emerge. And it's happened, according to analysts, because Donald Trump has very clearly and obviously become far more unhinged in just the last 2 weeks than he ever has at any other point in his life. The only other time when he came close to being this unhinged and untethered from reality is during the criminal trial in Manhattan that ultimately resulted in 34 felony convictions for him. So, yeah, that obviously is a horrific moment that is going to trigger a little bit of, mental breakdown, and we saw it on full display. But this one, the Epstein story coming back into the spotlight because his administration brought it back to the spotlight after his supporters demanded it go to the spotlight. It's all on them. But it broke him. And the analysts, the networks, the outlets are starting to understand that and realize that, holy crap, this man is totally broken. And obviously, as I've pointed out, we saw it multiple times last week. He's like, I don't know why Biden hired Jerome Powell. Biden didn't, you did. My uncle, I should say, taught the Unabomber. No, not even close. There was like decades of gap there. What do you mean we halted shipments of weapons to Ukraine? I've never heard of this. No, it happened. He doesn't know what's happening in his own administration, folks. He has completely lost touch with all of reality. This is dangerous. And let me put it to you this way, right? This Epstein story coming back into the spotlight, again, a Frankensteins monster of their own creation, should not be driving him this crazy. I mean, a year ago, he got shot in the head, inches away from having his brains shown on public television, live television. Okay, we were 2 inches away from seeing his brain. And he didn't have this kind of meltdown about that, right? Now, that one I could understand. Oh my God, I was almost assassinated. I took a bullet to the ear, and didn't scar. Way to go there, Wolverine. But he didn't suffer any kind of weird mental state following that. And that one, it's okay to, right? Like, you almost died. Yeah. You really are okay if you have a mental breakdown at that point. But he didn't. But he is about this. Something's wrong. Something's weird. Something is not right with this guy. And again, we are starting to see multiple analysts. Michael A. Cohen for NBC News wrote a lengthy piece about it saying this. Right now, as we speak, the President of the United States is showing substantial, arguably greater public evidence of possible cognitive decline. You didn't need the word possible. It's evident. Trump at times is unaware of what is happening inside his administration, can seem clueless about major policy events, and doesn't always appear to understand the very legislation that he's promoting. One can certainly debate the extent to which Biden was truly experiencing cognitive decline, but if reporters are going to argue that the media dropped the ball in not giving that story greater coverage, then how does one explain not even talking about what's happening right now? And that's a great point, right? And that's what I bring up all the time. If Biden had done this, if Biden had done that. But what we are witnessing is a man whose brain is getting worse by the day at this point. And yes, I talk about this a lot. And yes, it can seem a little repetitive. But the more we talk about it in the independent media, the more the rest of the media has to eventually talk about it because the public starts demanding answers. We're doing our duty here. And again, it's repetitive, but it's working. We have to shine the spotlight on it, and we have to do it every day. Because if we don't, we can't hold the media accountable. We're just as lazy as they are. This is the President of the United States we are talking about, the man with his finger on the nuclear button. The man who, according to reports, has already suggested nuking countries this year. So yes, him being totally out of his mind, suffering from psychological problems and clearly at this point neurological problems, yeah, that's a story that bears repeating even if it's day after day after day. Because we are starting to see the rest of the media, the people that own the big corporations, they're starting to pay attention to it, which means what we're doing is clearly working. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.